Namandavs, 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 Namandavs. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're able to tune in today for our weekly Sunday service. Unlike our more recent in-person services, we're having to live stream the service on our Central Coast Tri-Temple YouTube site. And this is a direct result of the inclement weather that we've been having over the past few weeks. Although we hate to cancel services sometimes for the safety of our members, we need to make adjustments. And so today, for the first time in many months, I'm live streaming from our home to all of you who are joining us this morning, and I thank you for your participation. And I want to ask you to please bear with me, as we haven't done this in many months, and so I'm still getting used to doing this again. Okay, so to begin today's service this morning, I'd like to share with you an opening reading. If you please join me in Gassho. Let us all cease from wrath and refrain from angry looks, nor let us be resentful when others differ from us. For all people have hearts, and each heart has its own leanings. Their right is our wrong, and our right is their wrong. We are not unquestionably sages, nor are they unquestionably fools. Both of us are simply ordinary human beings. How can anyone lay down a rule by which to distinguish right from wrong? For we all are one another, wise and foolish, like a ring which has no end. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you. And now, as we do each Sunday, I'd like to ask you to join me in the chanting of the Sambujo. And if you do have it, I hope in your large purple service book, it's on page 25. And this will be followed by the Jusege, which you'll find on page 92. 세츠머려쟁여 방언저생언 이심의전어 시간부만석 세부저셔각 나오무려가 의나이세슈 의사이셔빙그 세부저셔각 마시저부츠도 묘셔저제포 극염이셔몬 세부저셔각 리역진셔넴 저에슈봉여 시금의전어 이셔텐인시 진리기엔다이거 의셔무사이더 셔저상금여 고사이슈야근한 가이지에겐 메시건너안 에이서그셔와그너 스다츠센슈몬 거서저만석 이여러제법 니치가츠슈즈기 겐거언브겐 이슈가이호서 거세그너그호 여어 shi chi se po shi shi ku ku yo yi sai but ku so ku shi to ku hon gan ne shi zi jiu man to ku yi sang gai o nya bu zi me ge chi si na zi mi bu xiao gang ga gu e li to shi sai xiao son xi an ya ko ka dai sen o kan do o ku xiao ten nin to u jin yo ke nam on the bu 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 nam on the nan ni shi kun do ku myo no se yi sai do hon bo ai shin on yo Namanda, 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 Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you. And now we'll try to sing the Gatha Namo Amida Butsu. If you have your Gatha book, it's on page 174. When life is fair and sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and flowers adorn our way, oh, let us pause with grateful hearts to say, when death draw nigh, our tears may flow, yet trustingly we cry, Namo Amida Butsu. The threefold refuge. Difficult is it to receive a human form, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together with all sentient beings, become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teachings. Sankhya-mon. Ninjin ukegatashi ima sudeni yuku, Buppo kikigatashi ima sudeni kiku, Kono mikonjo ni mikate dose zumba, Sarani izure no sho ni makataka kono miyo dosen, Daishu morotomo ni shishin ni sammo ni kieshi tate matsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tate matsura u, Masani nagawaku wa shujo to tomo ni, Daido wo taige shite mojo yo kosan, Mizukara ho ni kieshi tate matsuru, Masani nagawaku wa shujo to tomo ni, Fukaku kyozo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran, Mizukara so ni kieshi tate matsuru, Masani nagawaku wa shujo to tomo ni, Daishu wo tori shite isai muge naran, Mujo jinjin mimyo no ho wa hyaku sen mango ni mo ayo koto katashi, Ore ima kenmon shi juji suru koto wa tari, Nagawaku wa narai no shinjitsu gi o gashitate matsuran. Namandabus, 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 namandabus. Thank you very much. And once again, good morning, everyone, and a happy New Year to you. I hope that you're all safe and staying warm in your homes. As you may know, this weekend we've had, as I mentioned earlier, we've canceled all of our Sunday services in Monterey, Salinas, and Watsonville. And we really don't like canceling services, but for the safety and security of our members, we made the decision to cancel today's in-person services. So in lieu of that, I'm meeting with you virtually, live streaming. And I really want to thank you for your understanding and your patience as we conduct today's service. I want all of you to know that the decision to cancel the services was not made unilaterally, but in consultation with all of our temple board members, board presidents, and many others. So we made the decision together collectively. However, the final decision came to me, and so I made the decision to cancel the 3 services. And we hope that this is the only time we'll have to do this, and hopefully we'll be able to meet again next week in person. So how many of you ever heard someone say, he made me do this, or she made me do this? I'm sure you've heard that and maybe even said it yourself. As an example, today's service, to do it online, didn't come directly into my mind. It was something that I didn't really decide on my own. Um, it was decided upon after my wife Jane made the suggestion to do Sunday service. And it didn't really come to my mind right away, which it should have. But thanks to Jane, I made the decision to do this today's service online. So I have to give her credit for this idea, thinking that I might sleep in, I might rest on this Sunday. And then I said, well, gee, now I got to get all the stuff ready for today's service. So the day off idea melted away as I realized that really this is the best way to do things, considering we can't meet in person. And it is important for us to have the opportunity, whether it's in person or online like today, to meet and hear the Dharma. So if you ever hear me say, my wife made me do this, don't believe me. The decision is mine, and it is mine alone, not something that I'm being made to do. So as you know, Harry S. Truman, President of the United States, used to say, and he had a plaque on his desk, that the buck stops here. Okay? So in truth, no one makes us do anything. Although we sometimes blame others and don't take responsibility for our decisions. The truth is, we and we are alone are responsible for our thoughts, our words, and our actions. So in the Buddha's quest for enlightenment, his one great discovery was the discovery of his ego that created all of his sufferings. Now, like anybody else, the young prince Siddhartha, he could have blamed his father. He could have blamed his stepmother. He could have blamed those around the palace. Or even, he could have even blamed the death of his mother. But in his search for a way to end suffering for human beings, he discovered, that it was his own self-created view and his own notion of the world that really created his anxiety and suffering. So the Buddha said, and I quote, "It is wrong to think that misfortunes come from the east or from the west. They originate within one's own mind. Therefore, it is foolish to guard against misfortunes from the external world and leave the inner mind uncontrolled." Okay? So again, it is foolish to guard against misfortunes from the external world and leave the inner mind uncontrolled. End quote. This is the foolishness of we human beings. And as Buddhists, and specifically Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, our so-called practice is a constant and consistent self-examination. Each day we make decisions, we take action, we engage in others, with others. Sometimes these encounters are joyful, but other times they create anxiety, they create pain, they create regret. Regardless of whether joyful or regretful, we should take a moment each day to reflect on how and why we made the choices that we made. So as we reflect, we might look to others for blame. We all too often blame others for our actions. He made me do it. It wasn't my fault. You made me do this. But upon further examination, we will find that it is our ego that doesn't like things going against our desires and view of things. The other day, I shared with a couple of our members how much I enjoyed golf. They were sharing with me their concern over my busy schedule and with all the things going on with the floods and everything. And they were so kind to be concerned over my health and my well-being. And I assured them that I'm doing fine, which I am. Uh, and part of my relaxation, a way to relax, is I like to read. I like to watch TV programs, but part of my relaxation is to go out and golf. And I have to admit that over the last few weeks, I haven't golfed at all because of the weather. I'm a wimp when it comes to golfing in the rain. I don't like to do that. But golf for me is enjoyable and it's relaxing. I really feel relaxed when I play golf. Sometimes after I play a round of golf, I'll reflect back on a particularly good shot, and I'm sort of bragging to myself about how good I am. But sometimes I'll reflect on a particularly bad shot and how bad a golfer I am. So as an example, not long ago, I was playing golf, and it's a short par 3. It's not very long. And as I began my swing, I was on the very back part of my swing when one of the fellow golfers in my group sneezed. My shot went way off to the left. In fact, it wasn't even close to the target. It went off into the other fairway, went the distance I wanted it to go, but that distance, there was a pond there, and it fell into the pond. So I had to walk all the way over to the left side, took the penalty, took a drop, and proceeded to make my next shot. A group of golfers was driving by in a cart, and they were laughing and having a great time. Just as I was on my backswing, they started laughing, and my next shot went into another pond. Now my mind was all in a tizzy, and nothing I could do was right. I had a terrible score for that hole. Now my mind is all messed up. I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. So I was reflecting back on that, and I remember I blamed the sneeze that was behind me. I blamed the laughter from the cart that was driving by. I wouldn't have played so bad if I wasn't distracted by others. You know? But in truth, as you can understand, it was my lack of concentration, my being easily distracted, my lack of skill, my self-induced frustration that all led to a terrible score. Okay? This is a simple example of a mind that is not taking responsibility but blaming others. The foolish mind that both the Buddha and Shinran Shonin talked about. This foolish mind that doesn't see clearly the self and the ego, but is more than willing to blame others. And I do this on a regular basis, making judgments, criticizing, and feeling frustrated by the actions or the decisions of others. Sometimes it's what I see on TV. Sometimes it's encounter with strangers who I don't even know, waiting in line for a coffee or driving on the street. Sometimes it's encounters with acquaintances or family members. And the foolish mind doesn't look within, but blames all of this around me for all of my anxiety and suffering. So as Buddhists or as human beings, we have the ability, like no other being, to self-reflect on our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And this, I believe, is what being a Buddhist means, to self-reflect, to take a moment every day to think back on your thoughts and your words and your actions that you encounter as you encountered people and experiences during the week or during the day. So we have the ability to see the self clearly, thanks to the Buddha Dharma that reminds us to self-reflect. And as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, when we are made aware of this self and the ego, all the more we rely on Amida Buddha for accepting us just as we are, ego and all. Wow, How grateful, how fortunate we are. And all the more we thank Amida for the Nembutsu and the saving power of Amida. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. And now I'd like to ask you to join me in the Gatha Ondoksan 2. And if you have your large purple service book, it's on page 220. Sorry. Firmly believing in the great vow of the Buddha and intoning the revered name, I will live my life cheerfully and positively, cherishing the Buddha's compassionate light and always mindful of self-reflection. I shall diligently attend to my life's tasks in gratitude. Abiding in the teachings of the Buddha and discerning the proper path, I will help spread the Dharma. Rejoicing in the benefaction of the Buddha, I will respect and help others working for the public good. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today for our Sunday service, and I do hope that next week we'll be able to meet in person, weather permitting. Next Sunday, the 22nd, the Salinas Buddhist Temple will be having their Shotsuki Hoyo at 10 o'clock. It's also going to be their Honko service. And in Monterey and Watsonville, 10 o'clock, regular Sunday services will be held. Again, this is all dependent on the weather. I hope that things dry up and we're able to meet in person next week. Until then, please take care, be well, and be safe above all else. Okay? Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.